CBS Sports presents the National Football League. Today, the Green Bay Packers against the Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to the 11th week of the National Football League season, the game between Green Bay and Minnesota. And to show you how important this game is, let's check the standings in the NFC Central. Minnesota's out in front, and not only have they won 6 and lost only 4, but they're 4-1 in the conference. And look at that Green Bay record. They've won only 1 and lost 2, but they could catch Minnesota for the division lead. And of course, the Lions, with a record of 5-5, have also to be considered in the race for the title. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jack Buck, and to give you an idea of the importance of this game, Hank Stram, Paul Kaufman, the tight end of the Packers, said this is a playoff game for Green Bay.
Jack, I think that's a very good summation of it, but I think the Green Bay Packers have to do 2 things to win this game this afternoon. Number one, they have to do a better job of protecting the quarterback than they did the last time they played. And also, number 2, they have to do a much, much better job of rushing the quarterback when they're on defense.
And the last time they played in Green Bay, Minnesota won it in overtime. But in that game, Ted Brown gained 179 yards. He has a bad shoulder. He's out of action today and for a couple of more weeks. How are they going to do without him?
Well, I asked Bud Grant what he felt about the loss of Ted Brown, and he said, we're going to miss him a ton. But I think they're very, very fortunate to have a great running back like Tony Galbraith. I think the fans of the Minnesota area have really not seen the true ability and skill of Tony Galbraith. I think he's going to do a super job this afternoon.
And we'll get a very early look because Minnesota has won the toss. They'll receive, and Eddie Garcia will kick it off. And this is going to be a heck of a football game. The deep men are 2 of the best kick returners in the NFL, Jarvis Redwine and Darren Nelson. Garcia awaits the signal from Fred Silva, and here we go. This one will be returned. Redwine to the 15. Did not get to the 20-yard line. And as Minnesota starts with the ball, we'll set their offense for you with Steve Dills, the backup man for Tommy Kramer at the quarterback spot. He has Tony Galbraith and Darren Nelson in the backfield with him. Sammy White and Sam McCullum are the wide receivers. Terry LeCounte probably won't play. Dave Casper, the tight end, and up front, Steve Riley, Jim Huff, Dennis Woolley, Wes Hamilton, and Tim Irwin. The ball is at the Vikings' 18-yard line. And that's what Dills has done since taking over for Kramer. It is Nelson and Galbraith in the backfield. Motion by the tight end Brewer. And Darren Nelson gets 2, and there goes a flag. A flag on the very first snap of the game. The tackle was made by George Cumby, and a holding call against Minnesota. That umpire must have been laying for somebody, Hank.
He decided he was going to make a call early, I guess, and he certainly did. I think the other thing, Jack, I think any time that you're involved in an emotional game at home like this, you're much, much better. You've heard me say this many, many times, and this is not a second guess, but I would much rather lose the toss and play defense than I would on offense in this kind of a game.
Offense, number 67, holding, first down.
That was Dennis Woolley, the center, who was called for holding half the distance back to the 9. And it is first down and 19. Up front for Green Bay, a 3-man front with Braggs, Johnson, and Ezra Johnson. Anderson, Wingo, Cumby, and Douglas are the linebackers. The deep backs include the rookie Tim Lewis, Lee, Gray, and Murphy. Here comes Nelson. He's going to get outside. And a pretty good run, short of a first down. Mark Murphy bumped him out.
This is a great looking play, Jack. It's a counter play, and Jim Huff, the left guard, number 51, made a key block downfield. Watch him, number 51, the left guard, coming around the outside.
Along with Bob Brewer, the tight end, blocking.
But watch the beautiful block right here by Huff. That's what you have to do. He knocked him back further, and as a result, Nelson was able to make a lot more yardage on the play than he ordinarily would have.
Second down and 3. I formation now with the up back Tony Galbraith. Here's Nelson avoiding a tackle and getting about a yard. It's going to be 3rd and 1. John Anderson tackled him, number 59.
One thing Minnesota is very concerned about, they want to make sure that they control the linebackers, who are very, very active, especially Mike Douglas. You have to really do a good job of blocking him all the time. And they started the game with 2 counter plays, which means that they have great respect for the linebackers. They want to get them going one way, and then they run the other.
Douglas is the good one. Mike Douglas, number 53. We'll see a lot of him, and we'll follow him with our cameras today.
If we don't see a lot of him, Green Bay is going to be in trouble.
3rd down and 1. Ricky Young is in the backfield. Motion by Brewer. Ricky Young lunges out and gets a first down. It is a first down.
And Tony Galbraith led the play and made a beautiful block on Wingo, the linebacker, number 50.
And Byron Braggs finished it off along with Mark Murphy. So a good run by Ricky Young. He didn't have very much, but he got the first down. Hank, even with the poor defense that Green Bay has demonstrated, you think they're better off playing defense now?
Yes.
Here at the outset?
Yeah, I think so. You still have to go 80, and anytime you have to go 80 or 85, the percentages are on the defensive side.
McCollum, the wide receiver, to the right side. Here's the pass by Dills, his first. There it is, and it's caught by Brewer. And they got about 4 yards. Strong tackle by Mark Lee, the cornerback.
If the first pass of the game is any indication of what's going to happen the remaining part of the game, Green Bay is going to be in trouble. They got no pass rush whatsoever. They were blitzing a linebacker on the last play. The protection of the Minnesota Vikings was excellent. And if they don't do a better job of that, of rushing the quarterback, they're going to be in trouble.
The ball rests at the Viking 34, 2nd and 6. Tony Galbraith in the backfield. He said one of his big concerns will be to pick up the blitz. Green Bay shows the blitz. The blitz is on, and they get to him and pressure him. It's 3rd down.
That's what I was talking about. That time they did get to him. They put on a rush, and I think they're going to have to put on a rush. They're going to have to put pressure on the quarterback, Steve Dills. Watch the blitzes. Watch Wingo. He's coming up the middle, number 50. He sees him coming. There's pressure from the outside, and for that reason, the ball is thrown poorly.
You don't have to hit the quarterback every time you come.
Just have to get in his face, Jack, to make sure that he doesn't see downfield as well and make him throw the ball before he actually wants to. That's as good as a sack.
3rd down and 6 from the 34. Let's see if they blitz again. No, it's a 3-man rush. There's the pass, wide open, first down. Sammy White, who caught very few last week, caught that ball. Mike Douglas was covering him, the linebacker.
That time they were in a 3-5-3, Jack, only 3 men rushing the quarterback. He had all the time in the world to throw the ball. Watch it.
A late flag has been thrown. Go ahead, Hank.
Okay, but it has all the time to throw the ball. 5 guys blocking 3. They're playing a zone, and he anchors in the zone and pick up a first down, plus there's a penalty on the play.
There's the penalty, and it's a big one to the Green Bay 40.
Personal foul, left cornerback, defense, elbow to the head. First down.
That was away from the play and called on Mark Lee, number 22. And so the penalty takes the ball to the Green Bay 40. These officials don't let you go to the head on any place on the field, on any play.
And they want to establish their authority early.
Here comes Nelson. He's in trouble. And he loses yards on the play. John Anderson ran him out.
And there again, Jack, we see another counter play. Counter meaning that they send a fullback up the middle to hold the linebackers. The halfback, Darren Nelson, takes a step to the right and goes left to control the linebackers. But the defense of the Green Bay Packers that time really responded terrifically well to the play.
Mark Murphy, the safety man, was coming on a blitz that time. So they've used 2 different forms, and they told us they have a big blitz package against Minnesota today.
Yes, Bart Starr was very emphatic about that and said that they definitely have to rush the quarterback with blitzes, especially if they don't get to him early.
And now Steve Dills comes to the sideline with the referee. I don't know if this is a charged timeout or not, but it is a timeout nonetheless. Minnesota's kept the ball for 2 minutes 15 seconds.
I'll tell you, trying to get cultured isn't easy. We just went to the opera and we didn't understand a word.
Yeah, but that big guy in those tights sure could sing.
Well, at least we still drink a very civilized beer. Light beer from Miller. Light tastes great.
But us impresarios drink it because it's less filling.
We can't afford to get filled up. Tomorrow night, we're going to the ballet.
Yeah, I sure hope they do it in English.
Me too.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
It's been called one of the most innovative American cars ever. Its unique Enduraflex body panels resist minor dents and will never rust. Introducing Pontiac Fiero, America's first mid-engine production car. Fiero, a brilliant example of Pontiac innovation in action. Fiero, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement, Pontiac.
That timeout was charged to Minnesota. There's Bud Grant, the head coach. It's a first down at the Green Bay 40-yard line. Green Bay showing the blitz again. Motion by Jordan, the tight end, and a pass play by Dills. And a first down to Casper. Dave Casper with a good catch. And a first down at the 25.
Here's another play-action fake. Play-action fake. Here he is. Here's a fake inside from a counteraction. He's got plenty of time to throw the ball. That's the key. Look at it. And he hits Casper coming across on a crossing pattern. Mike Douglas and Wingo were involved in the play. Here's Douglas blitzing on the play, but he was blocked by Tony Galbraith. A good block by Tony.
Now back to live action. Motion by Jordan and a run by Nelson. Looks pretty good. Out at the 11-yard line. Johnny Gray bumped him out. First down run by Darren Nelson as they try to do without Ted Brown.
Watch again. Here's another counter play. Watch Tony Galbraith. He comes up the middle. Nelson runs to his left. The guard pulling in good shape. Wes Hamilton in good shape out in front. Darren Nelson has terrific speed and takes the ball all the way down to about the 12-yard line.
Nelson up the middle following Galbraith. The flag goes down. A flag has been thrown. Minnesota started from their 18. They overcame a holding call. Here's another one against them. So instead of the ball being at the 12, it'll be back at the 22.
That's the thing I mentioned earlier, Jack. It's very difficult, even in a pregame warm-up, in a dummy drill, to take the ball from the 10-yard line and go 90 yards without stopping yourself or something happen. They've had 2 penalties on this drive.
Offense, number 67. First down.
That's the second time they have nailed the center, Dennis Swilly. Rich Wingo made that last tackle, but the penalties stopped the Vikings, who have kept the ball now for 3 minutes and 10 seconds. No score, first quarter.
Obvious the strategy of Minnesota, do everything they possibly can to keep the offense of the Green Bay Packers on the bench.
First down pass. Nelson. Fumble. Nelson got it back. The tackle by George Cumby. Nelson lost the ball after gaining about 4 yards on the play. George Cumby with a sure-handed tackle. He was one-on-one, and he didn't miss, did he?
Nelson runs an option play in the flat. Look at it, number 20. He has the option to go outside or inside, depending on where the linebacker is playing. Here you see Cumby coming in from the inside and really does a good job of scraping the ball loose, but it bounced right back in the hands of Darren Nelson, luckily for the Minnesota Vikings.
It is second down and 15 at the 18 of Green Bay. Look at the time, into the end zone, and he threw it away. He tried to get it downfield to Sammy White. It'll be third down and 15. Tim Lewis covering on the corner. Lewis and Steve Dills looking to the sideline for another call.
It looked like Jack, that was one of those I thought patterns where the quarterback thought he was going to do one thing and the receiver thought that he wanted him to do another. That's when you get in trouble in option pass patterns, because they can always come back and say, I thought you were going to do this, and then you're in trouble.
Dwayne Osteen is in as the extra back for Green Bay defensively, along with Estes Hood. It's a three-man rush and the running play. Well, they probably thought they'd catch him in a blitz, but they didn't. Tackle by Byron Braggs, number 73. Fourth down, Benny Ricardo onto the field. 4th and 11.
And Benny Ricardo, I talked to him before the game and asked about the situation, because Gary Lewis of the Green Bay Packers at number 81 blocks a lot of kicks. And I asked him if it bothered him any. He said, no, it really doesn't, because I'm a semi-soccer kicker. I come into the ball pretty square, and I get the ball up very quickly. Let's see what happens.
31-yard try, Dills holding, and it is no good. And that big tight end, Gary Lewis, got up there. I don't know if he got the ball or not, but he sure came close, and he may have bothered Ricardo.
And I asked him that. I said, will they bother you? He said, no, I'm going to kick the ball over the top, but evidently it did.
Still scoreless.
Pontiac.
Like a burst from the sun, 2000 Sunbird has arrived. Pontiac's overhead cam 5-speed performer. 2000 Sunbird, easy to own, fun to drive. 2000 Sunbird, Pontiac excitement precisely the way you like it. 2000 Sunbird, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement. Pontiac.
Tired of those high fuel prices? Well, guess what? They're not getting any lower. Fight back with the Attic Blanket from Owens Corning. It's the most powerful roll of thermal protection you can buy. Before fuel bills put you in the red, get the Attic Blanket and put your house in the pink. Owens Corning, building products that put your house in the pink.
Gary Lewis, number 81, is a tight end for Green Bay, and he plays over the middle on defense on kicking situations.
Wes Hamilton, the right guard, watch him now. He blocks to the inside, slides off, and watch him go into Lewis, but in spite of that, he did not get an opportunity, I don't think, to block a kick. He just kicked a bad one.
Ricardo had been 19 out of 22. It's still scoreless. They kept the ball for 4 minutes and 45 seconds.
We might see a sweep left here, Jack. We might see something left in the first play.
Here comes Ellis up the middle now. He started left, came back, and got 5. Tackled by Tommy Hannon as we check the offense of Green Bay, led by the veteran quarterback Lynn Dickey. He has Gary Ellis and Mike Mead in the backfield with him. James Lofton and John Jefferson, the wide receivers. Paul Kaufman, the tight end. Swanky Drexler, McCarron, Huffman, and Cook are up front for Green Bay. And Jesse Clark comes into their lineup now. 2nd down and 5. Actually, 2nd and 4. As Ellis got 6. Here goes Clark. Down to the Minnesota 32. Tommy Hannon tackled him. How did that happen, Hank?
Very easy, Jack. It was good blocking. Good blocking at the point of attack by the right side, Tim Hoffman and Greg Cook. Watch him. Good blocking at the point of attack. He's got great speed, a good block downfield, a missed tackle, and look at him go down the far sideline. But he gives this Green Bay attack a dimension that they really haven't had. He's got great speed, and he ran for 42 yards on that play to the right side. Strictly man-for-man blocking, nothing fancy, just good, sound, solid execution on the part of the Green Bay Packers.
And back upfield, here is John Turner, the safety man, number 27 of the Vikings, limping off the field. That was the longest rush of the season for the rookie out of Arkansas, Jesse Clark, and he's 233 pounds.
And they say he's got 4.5 speed, and he certainly demonstrated the kind of speed he has on that last play.
He had a good block by one of his fellow backs.
Mike Mead really got a good shot downfield.
Let's check the defense. It's a three-man front ordinarily for Minnesota with Doug Martin, Charlie Johnson, and Neil Elshire. Their linebackers are Blair, Studwell, Johnson, and McNeil. And the deep backs, Swain, Teal, Hannon, and Turner. Turner is out and is replaced by Joey Browner. Look at that. Another big run, this one by Meade. Good for 7 yards to the Vikings 25.
But Grant on the sideline has to be a little concerned. I think going into the game now, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, Jack, but I don't think that the Minnesota Vikings going into this game felt that if Green Bay had to run the ball, they felt they were in good shape, because I don't think they feel that Green Bay can beat them with the running game, but they're doing a good job so far.
It is 2nd down and 4. Gary Ellis is the setback. Motion by Lewis, the tight end. Lewis blocking for Ellis. Nothing doing. He lost yards. Bumped out by Joey Browner, who just come into the game replacing Turner. They have a bevy of running backs, and of course Green Bay is doing without Eddie Lee Ivory. Ivory is out with on the injured reserve because he is emotionally strained. But they have some good running backs to take his spot.
And they have a very good guard in David Drexler, the left guard, a rookie from North Carolina, 6'3", 264. Bart Starr says he's a man. He does it all, never says anything, he just plays.
It's 3rd down and 5 at the Minnesota 27. Dickey with a handoff to Ellis. Oh, they covered that one good, didn't they? Crowd loves it here. Matt Blair was the first one there.
That time, Jack, the Minnesota Vikings changed their defensive alignment. They had been in a 3-4 alignment, and that time they went into a 4-3, and they gave him a lot more pressure and did a good job of responding and stopping that play.
Well, there's an old friend of yours, number 10, Jan Stenerud.
And I had a good visit with Jan, and his 2 kids are here from Montana, Shane and Clancy, 14 and 12, and it was great to see them again.
Here's a 46-yard try. Stenerud is 10 out of 12.
He's got to get the ball up fast too, Jack, because they do a good job of blocking kicks.
It is good, and Green Bay gets out in front. With 7:32 left in the first quarter, after Ricardo missed, Stenerud hit it, 46 yards.
From Pontiac comes the one-of-a-kind 84 Firebird Trans Am. You can order it with aerodynamic ground effects, a high-output 5-liter V8, high-tech turbo wheels, and a close ratio 5-speed. And knowing you probably will. Trans Am, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement. Pontiac.
Now you can avoid the high cost of hiring a professional plumber by handling many repairs yourself with professional quality master plumber repair parts and fittings from True Value Hardware stores. They come with step-by-step instructions for easy installation. And when you choose master plumber parts and fittings, you can be sure your repairs will last because they're all quality constructed to resist corrosion and wear. Look for them exclusively at participating True Value Hardware stores and home centers.
We have 7:32 left in the first quarter. A 46-yard field goal by Stenerud, and Green Bay's out in front. Minnesota had missed earlier, 31 yards. The kickoff by Garcia. 2 great kick return men are back there. And this is Redwine. Jarvis takes it on the goal line. And he's to the 20, that's all. And so Green Bay has covered those kickoffs well. Guy Prather made the tackle. Well, the Rose Bowl is up for grabs from the West Coast. Illinois will be there, and who are they going to play? Well, next week on NCAA football, Washington State 6-4 against Washington 8-2. If Washington wins, they go to the Rose Bowl. So you'll see a very emotional game next Saturday here on CBS TV. It all starts at 3:30 Eastern. That's Mike Curcio, the linebacker of Green Bay, who is down and being tended to. Meanwhile, Brent Musburger is standing by in New York. And let's go and hear what Brent has to say.
Jack, we've got an Eagle touchdown against the Bears, and it goes to their all-pro wide receiver, Mike Quick, the first receiver in the league to gain more than 1,000 yards. This is his 9th touchdown. The Bears secondary decimated by injuries. Back to Jack.
Thank you, Brent. So the Eagles jump out in front, and here Minnesota trails as they start from their 20 and a first down pass. Caught by Galbraith. Fumble. That ball belongs to Green Bay. Mark Lee. And it's first down at the 12.
That was a delay pattern by Tony Galbraith. He waited for the receiver to clear it out. Came underneath, caught the ball, was hit. It bounced right out of there, something he doesn't do very often. He's been a very good possession kind of a back. Hasn't fumbled very much, did on that play, and the Green Bay Packers have possession on the 12-yard line. Here's an end zone shot of it. Watch Tony Galbraith coming out of the backfield now. Left part of your screen. Now he delays and comes underneath. There he is. And he gets hit from the backside, and the ball pops loose.
Now here we go with Lynn Dickey. Meade and Ellis in the backfield with him. First down from the 12, a delay to Ellis. He really had to work hard for 1 yard, didn't he?
He really did, and he looked like, you know, Jack, it kind of looked like there was some indecision on his part. It looked like he might be trying to throw up an option pass. But I talked to him before the game, and he said he loves the play for the I formation. It provides him with the opportunity to be a little deeper, read the blocks better, and also cut back.
And with Ivory out, it gives Ellis a chance to play the tailback instead of the fullback. It's second down and 9. Loft into the left, Jefferson in motion, and Dickey delays the ball. The play goes to the 5. Jesse Clark, who rambled for a big gain earlier of 42 yards, makes it 3rd and 3 before Studwell tackled him along with Fred McNeil. We get word about John Turner, the safety man of Minnesota. He has a pulled leg muscle, and Joey Browner is playing that spot. This is where you want a touchdown, Hank. When you recover a fumble on the 12, you don't want a field goal.
No, you can't mess around. You've got to get 7 points. You've got to take advantage of field position.
Loft into the right. Jefferson in motion. Meade running. Very close to a first down, and then driven back by Studwell. It's 4th down, I think. The referee, Fred Silva, is going to call time, stop the clock with 5:47 left in the quarter, and he's going to measure.
I tell you, Mike Meade did a good job of running that time. He looked like he was going to go outside and then suddenly cut upfield, got his shoulders square, and got up there as quickly as he possibly could. And Gary Ellis really made a nice block, number 31, out in front.
And he is indeed short. Lynn Dickey hasn't thrown the ball yet. That's strange, isn't it?
It is on past performance, but they came into the game with the anticipation of running the ball a great deal. They feel they can run it much better with their situation the way it is right now.
And they're going to run for it.
This is a good call, Jack. I think they ought to.
It's 4th and about a half a yard. There's Bart Starr hoping that this play works. 5:40 left in the first quarter. Green Bay leading 3-0. The ball is at the Viking 3. And we'll just let you watch this one.
If they run, it looks like they might do something right. Play action.
The ball is incomplete to the tight end. Gary Lewis dropped it in the end zone.
He did not have control.
Hank, the play was there for him, wasn't it?
All they had to do was catch it.
Let's watch it again.
A play action fake. They faked to Meade. And look at Ellis wide open in the end zone. All he had to... Yeah, Lewis. Yeah, all they had to do was catch it.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
In a high-performance fighter, we go from the griddle to more than 20 degrees below in just seconds. Well, here's an all-weather fighter for your car, the new Delco Freedom Dura Power battery. Hot, or cold. It's got the starting power you can depend on. With a Freedom battery, you never need to add a drop of water.
Get a Delco Freedom battery starting at $39.95 for a 40 series. Call 800-AC-DELCO.
This is a Commodore home computer system. With it, you can learn music, take care of your household accounts, file your lists, type your letters, get into telecommunications, and entertain your family. But it all starts with the Commodore 64 or VIC-20. And now is the right time to start because the price of all Commodore software is now up to 50% less. Commodore computers, in more homes than any other home computer.
Monday on Emerald Point, Kay finds fulfillment with Glenn while Hillary's past comes back to haunt her.
I know what you like to do.
Scandalous tapes lead to blackmail. Monday.
Well, Minnesota fumbled at their 12-yard line, and it didn't cost them a thing.
That's right.
The ball is at their 3-yard line. Here's Darren Nelson, and he got a yard at the most. What do you think of Minnesota without Ted Brown? He takes a lot away from them, doesn't he?
He really does, because he does so many things so well. And the other great thing, he doesn't make mistakes.
Cleveland is ahead of Tampa Bay against that good defense in the first quarter, 10-0. Here's some more scores for you. As the Packers lead here, 3-0 in the first quarter. We'll pop a few more up when we have a chance. It is 2nd down and 10. No gain by Nelson. Extra tight end is in there, Brewer. Let's see if he throws. No, a running play, but Green Bay is willing to give that 4 yards or so. Galbraith ran with the ball. Met first by Mike Douglas and then Rich Wingo. Here's some more scores. Houston ahead of Detroit. First quarter, 3-0. Seattle and St. Louis tied in the first quarter, 7-all. New England ahead of Miami in the first quarter, 7-0. A lot of things happening today in the NFL. Kansas City and Cincinnati, two great defensive teams, tied 3-3 in the second quarter. 3rd down and 6 for Minnesota.
For Green Bay to take advantage of that good field position they had, they've got to stop them here so they get good field position again.
Here's a pass play from the goal line. That is not a safety. It's 4th down. Mike Douglas got in and nailed him at the goal line.
Mike Douglas, talking to him yesterday, he said that he was going to do a lot of blitzing. Number 53 is coming from a different position, sometimes on a right side, sometimes on a left. Here you see him, 53. He does not go for the fake, gets knocked down. Watch him get up, and comes in and makes the tackle. That's what you call great effort and great will on the part of the linebacker, Mike Douglas, number 53.
He got knocked down by Galbraith, came back up. There is Douglas along the sideline, and the kicker is Greg Coleman standing on the back line awaiting the snap.
I always liked when he blocked a linebacker as active as Douglas. I wanted to make sure if he knocked him down, lay on, get on top of him, make sure he can't get up.
As a delay of game that's going to cost him 1 inch. 3:09 left in the first quarter.
Delay offense number 8. 4th down.
They charge the punter with it. Greg Coleman has averaged 41 yards per kick. His longest is 65, and he needs a good one.
They won't rush this kick either, Jack. They don't want to take a chance of roughing the kicker and giving them an automatic 1st down. They ought to come out of here with good field position. They'll try to get a return.
Huff snaps it well. Coleman kicks it rather well. Epps takes it on the 44. Look at the good position already. Epps is down inside the 30 to the 28, so Green Bay knocks on the door again. 2:59 left in the first quarter. Green Bay has the only points in the game. They lead 3-0.
The beauty of a Delta faucet is when it's on, it's on. And when it's off, it's off. Its washerless design helps keep it from dripping, so it lasts and lasts and lasts. Delta faucet. We're first because we last.
New typewriter, Miss Tompkins.
New typewriter, but I've got an IBM typewriter.
You, Miss Tompkins, 8th floor?
But I love my IBM. I depend on it.
Ah, but this one's got pages of memory and it can be upgraded.
But nothing else has the IBM Touch. Give somebody else that typewriter.
But this is an IBM, a new electronic IBM typewriter.
It takes an IBM typewriter to replace an IBM typewriter, the most preferred typewriter there is.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
Well, Green Bay misfired on a 4th and 1 moments ago, and they get the ball right back.
Well, nothing hurts more, Jack, to have good field position, especially on the 12-yard line, and come away without any points. Now they have another opportunity. They must get points here.
Dickey has thrown the ball only one time. Lofton to the right, Jefferson to the left. Pass play. First and goal. Jefferson. Dennis Johnson tackling. This number 83 doesn't mind going over the middle at all.
He's one of the very best in the business. And we see the secondary here. We see a good shot. Jefferson is on the left, Lofton on the right. And you see they double cover the outside receivers. And look at the middle. The middle is wide open, and he pinpoints the ball right between the linebackers. Boy, what a fantastic throw by Dickey. Good for 21 yards.
And a first and goal at the 7. So here's Green Bay trying to add to their 3-0 lead. Ellis running left. Got a couple.
That was supposed to be, Jack, an option pass. They were going to try to hit the receiver in the end zone. He cocked his arm like he was going to try to throw it, but they faded it very well, played it well. And for that reason, he used good judgment and took off and ran with it and got as much out of the play as he possibly could. And watch him. He's going to the left. He's very definitely slowing down, going to throw the ball, but he sees he's covered and very wisely makes a quick decision and runs the ball out of bounds. Yes.
Joey Browner bumped him out. It's second and goal from the 5. Motion by Lewis, the tight end. And Lofton couldn't get to the ball. An interference. It'll be first and goal.
No question about it. Pass interference on a left quarterback, John Swain. He had him and hit him before the ball was before he got to him. While the ball was in the air, you cannot do that. It's an automatic first down. Pass interference against Minnesota.
Number 29, defensive pass interference in the end zone. Green Bay's ball, first down on the 1-yard line.
Swain was the culprit. It's first and goal. Let's watch him do it. Swain is number 29.
Right-hand side of the picture. Watch it. There you see him. He gives him a little massage in the back before the ball got there, and the official was right on the spot to make the call.
2:06 left in the first quarter. Rufus Best comes in now to play that left cornerback spot. Swain is out. First and goal. Need a touchdown. Well, Hank Stram and I were here last Sunday with Tampa Bay. There's Bart Starr leading the applause. There's the man who got the touchdown, Meade. And that was his first rushing touchdown of the year.
Good surge by the offensive line. Watch the left side of the offensive line. They get off the ball in good shape. Good leg drive. Good block by the fullback, and he goes in. Talking about Meade goes in for the touchdown.
Here's the extra point try, and that is good. We have a 10-0 Green Bay lead with 2:04 left in the first quarter. 28 yards on 3 plays after Minnesota had to punt out of the end zone, and it took them less than a minute to get the touchdown and the extra point. Well, this is a doubleheader day for CBS TV. And coming up next, you'll see either the Dallas Cowboys visiting San Diego. Look at those Cowboys, 9-1. They always seem to get in trouble in the early part of the game, but come back and do something about it. San Diego probably will have Ed Luther at quarterback. Or you'll be watching these two teams, and look at those records. They're identical, and the Rams are also 6-4, and Atlanta is only 2 games behind in the NFC West. Another important game. And can the Giants upset the Redskins? New York's playing at home. And they may do it against Washington. They're trying to stay right on the tail and the trail of the Dallas Cowboys. Well, Hank and I were here last Sunday when Tampa Bay beat Minnesota. And Minnesota looks like they're in the in the same lethargy they were a week ago.
Well, I thought really, Jack, they had a good drive initially, and they ran the ball very well. The difference in the game early was the fact that Ricardo missed a field goal and Stenerud made his. But they look a little different when they don't throw the ball, Jack. And you're right with that observation. They just look a little different when they don't throw the ball because that's really their personality.
That last drive, 3 plays, 28 yards, and Mike Meade with his first rushing touchdown of the year. Here's the kick by Garcia, and this one will be returned by Redwine. Now this is Nelson. He almost squirted loose, knocked down at the 22-yard line. With 1:53 left in the first quarter, the Vikings are at their 22, and Jim Laughlin was the tackler. Well, Brent Musburger has some more information for us. Let's go to New York and join Brent.
Jack, Detroit now has taken a lead on Houston. It'll be Billy Sims. He'll take the handoff from Hipple up over the top. It is now 7-3 Lions. Let's go back to Jack and Hank.
Thank you, Brent. Of course, the Lions are 5-5 and vitally interested in the outcome of this one. Here comes Darren Nelson. About 2 yards, and that's it. Charles Johnson, the nose guard, made the tackle, number 99. Pretty soon you're going to start hearing these Minnesota fans because they were all over the Vikings last week.
Yeah, they did a lot of squeaking last week, and they do that only because they're very concerned, very emotionally involved with their football team.
All-time winning coaches. Hallis, Lambeau, Landry, Shula, Brown, Owen, Grant, Knoll. And number 9.
Where they got that, I don't know, Jack. It's fun to see, isn't it?
We watch everything you do. It is second down and 8. And the pass was caught for a first down. Surprised the flag didn't go down, even though it was caught. Mark Lee was covering Sam McCullum. Terry LeCount usually starts at the wide receiver. McCullum is filling in for Terry, who has a bad ankle.
You know, the other thing that's interesting watching the Minnesota Vikings, they like to feature and employ a one-back offensive scheme with Brown. They're using 2 backs today because they want to do a better job of running, plus the fact that they want to take advantage of pass protection. They can do a better job with 2 backs than they can with 1.
30 seconds left in the first quarter. 10-0 Green Bay. Nelson. Oh, brother, do they have that covered? There is Mike Douglas, number 53, all over the field. And Rich Wingo with the tackle.
He's one guy that you have to block, number 53. He likes to play on the weak side meaning away from the tight end. And he likes to play when there is not a tight end over him. When there's a tight end on him, it's a little difficult for him to see around the big tight end, and it puts a little bit of pressure on him.
0-0-0. That's the end of the first quarter. So we had a field goal by Stenerud and a touchdown by Mike Meade and a 10-0 Green Bay lead at the end of the first period.
The 6000 STE from Pontiac is America's performance sedan. An engineering masterpiece that gives you an amazing command of the road. 6000 STE. Technically advanced, totally satisfying. 6000 STE, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement, Pontiac.
For years now, we've been kidding Jim here about his eyesight. The fact is that Jim has the eyes of an eagle.
Thanks, Boog.
Why, he's one of the first guys to spot light beer from Miller. Saw right away that light tastes great and it's less filling.
Sure, all you have to do is read the label. It says light has 1/3 less calories than a regular beer.
I think you want this, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
As I was saying, it's as plain as the nose on your face.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Oh, I don't believe this.
If you want it,
I like it.
if you really like it,
I really like it.
we can help you get it. We're GMAC.
We want it.
We're GMAC Financing.
GMAC has helped more people buy their new GM car or truck than anyone, with rates that make sense on models people want. All at your GM dealer.
If you really want it, we can help you